moment, we're going to have our time for Hazarat HaShavua, which is our time in the service where we reflect on the week past, the 7 days of whatever you've been up to, intensity, work, emotions, joy, whatever it may have been, and you look ahead to the 25 hours coming, hopefully, of peace, of calm, of quiet, of being with yourself and with the people who you love most in this world. In order to set ourselves onto that path of peace and calm, hopefully of joy and reflection, I share now this poem by Hannah Yerushalmi. I've been finding a lot of comfort in her poetry lately. I don't know if any of you follow her. She's a gorgeous Israeli poet who writes just beautiful, beautiful poetry on the teachings of our tradition, and I'll share this now. It's called Intersection of Grief and Joy. On all the days for months now, we let the funeral procession go first. The tears fall with no end. The mirrors are covered, the candles burn, the garment is torn. But as Shabbat comes, we try to pause in our despair. We rise from the low benches, we take a walk around the block, at the intersection of grief and joy. Just for these hours of Shabbat, we let the wedding procession go first. As we reflect on the week behind, I'm sure there was a lot of grief, some heartbreak. I'll invite you now to think about the joy. What's the joy that lies ahead? And how can you lean into it over the next 25 hours? We'll take some time for reflection. Turn now to page 20 as we get ready to welcome in our Shabbat beloved to this holy courtyard with Lechadoti. We'll sing verses 2, 5, and 9. When we come to the 9th verse, I'll raise my hand like this and invite you all to face our entrance to welcome in that beloved. are here, we are ready, and our bodies are standing ready to continue on with our prayer service. Baruch is on page 28. To get ready to sing Shema together and go right into the Hafta. Shema is on page 34. It's kind of a quiet moment in our service where we just hear the collective sound of our voices coming together. And as we're outside, we also hear the sound of some traffic. We hear the sound of rustling leaves in the wind around us. We maybe hear each other, right? We hear each other laughing with our feet on the ground, touching it, and everything that means to be a part of community and part of the world around us. And that's really what Shema is, singing, we are here, we are one, and we are together. Page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai. Page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinatam levanecha v'dibartam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotavot min einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha V'hisharecha lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way, inspired by prophets and instructed by sages. Time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. And we sing together, Mi Chamocha, this song of celebration, of triumph, a song for freedom. Mi Chamocha, page 40. Yai, lai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 lai, la, lai, yai, lai, lai, ya, lai, la, 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 yai, la, lai, lai, ya, la, 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 yai, la, lai, lai, ya, la, 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehter b'kodesh, orat tehilot osef ve'emet, orat tehilot osef ve'emet. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokeach yad livnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eliyanu ve'yamru, Ze'eliyanu ve'yamru, Adonai yiloch be'olam ha'ed, Adonai yiloch be'olam ha'ed. Standing or sitting under this beautiful courtyard that we're in, we look up and we get to see the sky, the sun, the stars flickering in as day makes way into night. And so at this turning of time in our day, we turn to Hashkivenu, asking for protection and comfort. The dark can be really scary. The unknown can be really, really frightening. And our ancestors knew that there was an antidote to that. There was prayer that could make us feel a little less alone, a little less scared. And so we sing together now, Hashkivenu, asking for that protection. Page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'ha'amidenu shomrei We spent a lot of time in our service really praying for ourselves or for our people. We've prayed for shelter, we've prayed for freedom. We've prayed just about how good it is to be here as we welcome Shabbat together. But now we have an opportunity in our service to turn our hearts outward to those in our lives who are in need of healing. And there is so much in our world and so many people in our lives who could really use some healing of the body or the mind or the soul. So we're going to sing Misha Berach together. It's on page 253. We'll start by singing in community, and then we'll have an opportunity in the middle to share the names of whoever we are thinking about. And then we'll continue again by singing once again in community. Temple community is also thinking about Jill Kahn, Eitan Chaim, Woody Clark, Judy Fenton, Tanaz Filati, Bruce Garfield, Shir Gaon, Eric Innocenti, Marianne Klieger, Bill Kelligan, Leah Marissa Bat Rivka Adina Veyaakov Ruvain, Velvo Ben Meir, Sarah Moran, Rob Porper, Howard Rosen, Lindy Sobel, Marvin Sobel, Mabube Suleimani, Sepide Suleimani, Louis Soto, Yehudit Bat Nechama Ben Mordechai, Helena Wachtel, Freddie Wolf, Andy Wu, Shala Zagi, Andrew Zeiger, and Howard Zellico. Our central prayer. So I'll invite everyone to rise now. And we'll start by singing Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. Let us open up our lips for this prayer. And then we'll continue with our own silent prayer. You can use the words that are in the prayer book. You can use the words that are in your own heart. And whenever you are finished, you may be seated. Tiftach, Picture this. A great nation with troubled beginnings, but a bright future. A people marred by divisiveness, doing its best to unify as one. Women standing up to claim what is theirs. A great leader stepping down to make way for the next generation. Friends, I am not talking about the United States of America today. I am talking about the Israelites almost 4,000 years ago. In our Torah portion this week, Pinchas, we find the Israelites near the end of their 40-year journey in the desert. At this point, they're focused on final preparations for entering the Promised Land. God instructs Moses and Eliezer to take a census of all the Israelite men and to apportion shares of the land according to the population that is counted. At this time in history, if a man died, his property automatically went to his sons. No sons, okay. The property went to his parents or to his brothers, but never to his daughters. The 5 daughters of the deceased Zelophehad rise up before the entire Israelite community to claim what they believe is rightfully theirs. They plead, "Our father died in the wilderness. Let not our father's name be lost to his clan just because he had no son. Give us a holding among our father's kinsmen." After Zelophehad's daughters make their case, Moses senses its importance. He brings it before Adonai, who responds shockingly with, "The plea of Zelophehad's daughters is just. Transfer their father's share to them, and further speak to the Israelite people as follows. From here on out, if a man dies without leaving a son, you shall transfer his property to his daughter." What's remarkable here is not only that A, Moses takes their case seriously. He could have ignored them, stating that that's just not how things are done. But B, God takes their case seriously, so seriously that God ultimately allows the amendment of a law given on Mount Sinai. From this point forward, if a man dies without leaving a son, his daughters, should he have any, will receive his property. Moses and God here seem to understand that the way things are is not set in stone. We have the ability, and further we have the right, to change things to meet the times. Commenting on this case, the medieval commentator Rashi says that the daughters saw what Moses' eyes couldn't see. They had a finer perception than him about what was just. In other words, despite Moses being Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest teacher, the greatest prophet that ever lived, these 5 ordinary women were able to imagine and bring to life something that he could not. And because they clung firm to their vision, this new path became standard. Imagining and bringing to life something new is a very Jewish thing to do. This begins with Abraham following God's command to Lech Lecha, to leave everything he's ever known and to be the founder of a great nation. Or how about Moses stopping to notice a burning bush and, yes, after some pushback, agreeing to do his best to lead the Israelites to freedom. Revelation on Mount Sinai, it is the first moment in human history when a group of people enter a sacred covenant with God. Rabbinic Judaism moving our tradition from temple worship to one of study and individual prayer in smaller synagogues. Our ancestors withstanding disaster after disaster, one bout of anti-Semitism to another, and surviving despite. The flourishing of Jewish community in the diaspora, the founding of the modern state of Israel. We know, Im tirtzu ein zo agada, if you will it is no dream. The legacy of Zelophehad's daughters is their charge to do the Jewish thing, to imagine something different and to bring it to life. Something better can be. As Rabbi Silvina Chemin writes, their story reminds us to take hold of life in our own hands, to move from the place that the others have given us or that we have decided to keep because we feel immobile, and to walk even to the most holy center, to where nobody seems to be able to go. After all, she continues, there is nothing more sacred than life itself and the fight for what we believe is worthy. Thus, this parsha inspires us to discover that we too have the ability to know what is right for ourselves and what our rights ought to be. When we believe in our capacity to shape history to the point of being able to change even a law that came from revelation at Sinai, then we pay tribute to Zelophehad's daughters. Friends, I am so proud to be a Jew. I am proud to have a long line of ancestors that dreamed and dreamed so that I could stand here before you today. My reality, being a rabbi in the United States of America, is far beyond anything that most of my ancestors could have fathomed. I took for granted the fact that I was able to become a rabbi and truly could have become anything that I wanted. A lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, an engineer, a CEO, a scientist, a politician, you name it, even though I am a woman, a Jewish woman. But just last week, I was at an oneg. My husband is also a rabbi, and he just started a new position at Temple Akiva in Culver City. And I was at the oneg after the service last week, and this woman came up to me, and she expressed that she was so excited to be talking with me because she still feels immense joy and emotion whenever being in the presence of a woman rabbi. She herself, now in her 80s, had wanted to be a rabbi when she was a young woman, but of course, she was told that it wasn't possible. Women didn't become rabbis. The first female rabbi, Rabbi Sally Priesand, was not ordained in the United States until 1972. We honor the legacy of Zelophehad's daughters when we hold on to our visions, when we have the courage to dream up the impossible and fight to make it a reality. These 5 ordinary women cried, "Our father died in the wilderness. It is not our fault, and we have every right to what we see as possible. Let not our father's name be lost to his plan just because he had no son." Let us follow in the footsteps of these proud women and affirm through speech and through action, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no. It does not have to be a dream. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We will continue now with Aleinu. I'll invite everyone to rise. We're on page 282. And here at Temple Emanuel, we sing the version which is at the top right of the page. Aleinu leshabech la'atom hakol, la'tegetu la'leotzer breshit, shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, uv'moshev yekarahu b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinatu zo begov Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Va'anachnu Korim, Hu Mishtachavim, Hu You may all be seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you with something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or I've loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that is left of me is love, give me away. We've come to the time in our service where we're going to get ready to say our mourner's Kaddish. If you're here in the first week of mourning, I'll invite you now to rise and you can share the name of who you're thinking about with our community. Or if you're here in the first 30 days of mourning, you can rise now and share the name. If you're here in the first year of mourning, you can rise now and share the name of who you're thinking of. If you are here observing a yard site, you can rise now and share who you are thinking of. Tonight we're thinking of Helene Hale, who passed away last month. We are observing the yard sites of Bess Berman, Ada Singer Kahan, Dorothy Corwin, Gladys Friedman, and Norman Ernest Friedman. Our mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. And there are so many who have passed who do not have anyone to say Kaddish for them. Those who have passed away in recent years because of violence, because of unrest, because of disease. And so we all rise as one community to say Kaddish for those who have no one to say for them. Yet Gadal v'yet Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'amad Yivrach Roteh Ve'amich Machuteh, V'chayachon U'yomachon V'chaye Decho Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'izman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Ulamei Omaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yithaleh V'yithalal Shmei Kodeshad B'richu Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nehemata Da'amiram Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel, to which we say Amen. You may all be seated. Before I come to our closing song, just a couple of announcements, which is, we have ongoing registration for both of our schools coming up. So if you have children who are ages 2 to 5 and they might like to join our ECC program, that is a Monday through Friday program. And if you have children ages 4 and up through high school, they can become a part of our religious school program. It is a lot of fun, all of it, music and movement and prayer and art and everything you can imagine. So if you have any questions about either program, please come talk to me. I'd be over the moon to talk to you about it. We also have intergenerational choir registration happening. So I, as a rabbi, might not like to believe it, but the high holidays are coming up sooner than I know. So that means it is time to begin practicing in our intergenerational choir to be a part of our multi-generational services during our holidays. So you can come talk to me, Cantor Weiss, any of us here at the temple, and we would love to have you be a part of it. We also have summer yoga happening every Tuesday and Friday at 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Come, it is with Michelle Aaron right here in our chapel. It's the perfect way to get your blood flowing, your peace going, and just sending you off into the rest of your day. So join us for summer yoga. We have the holiday of Tisha B'Av coming up in just a few weeks. Now, Tisha B'Av is a holiday that, because it's in the summer, it's not always celebrated among the majority of the Jewish population, but it's such an important holiday where we mark the destruction of the two temples in ancient times and where we kind of mourn all of the grief that has happened throughout Jewish history. I'm going to be leading a text study and singing of Echa, the Book of Lamentations, which is the book that we read during Tisha B'Av. So if you like adult learning, if you like hearing beautiful chanting, if you like being in your community, join us for that. It is on Monday night, August 12th at 7 p.m. And I think that is what I have for you. I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank Jenny, who helped to greet people. I want to thank Elizabeth for playing so beautifully. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank our maintenance team and our security team. We are going to close by singing Ose Shalom. I'll invite you to stand up, put your arms around each other,